What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So for this trailer review reaction, I think many of you are happy to finally get your first looks at Predator Killer of Killers animated anthology film arrives this June, and we finally get the first trailer. There has been an abundance of talks about this anthology series, this anthology take, especially since it's going to be animated. Plus, on top of that, we're supposed to be getting another Predator film, a live-action film. Both coming, at least let me take a step back. The animated anthology, I know, is coming to Hulu as an exclusive. Now, I don't know necessarily if this next Predator film, live-action film, is also going to be a Hulu exclusive, very similar to what they did with Prey. But if they do, probably good for them. They're going to get more eyes on it, because I know Prey was a big hit amongst the fan base. Many people like that and have been waiting for a follow-up even to that. So it seems like the Predator franchise is starting to gain some momentum again after, I feel, a long hiatus. Ever since the Alien versus Predator films, which many of us who grew up watching the original Alien films, and obviously of course the first Predator film is the most iconic one for the character. And then they kind of like started taking a downward spiral, in my opinion, as far as it felt like they were just cashing in on the franchise, not necessarily really giving it a lot of substance. But for Predator, Prey really started to bring it back a bit. And even with the Alien franchise, there were obviously some fans going back and forth, not so happy with the prequels like Prometheus, for example, and what was being done with that franchise. But then we got the most recent Alien film, Alien Romulus, which many people enjoyed. I think there is still that part of the core fan base that did not like it whatsoever. I mean, you can't make everyone happy. I get that. So here we are. We're going to be taking a look at the article details for Predator Killer of Killers, and then we are going to pull up this trailer and see what they're going to be giving to us. Now, obviously, we have this first image here, I'm sure is from the trailer. My reaction to this is very lukewarm as far, it's obviously, we're not seeing it in motion, we're just seeing a screen grab. This looks very much, if this is the animation style they're going for, it looks very much like a video game almost. So, obviously my opinion might change once we watch the trailer, but seeing this first image, if this is what the entire animation might look like, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be for me. I'll still check it out. I'll still watch it just to see what it's about. I do understand there's supposed to be three different stories taking place across this series or this season. However they're going to spin it. Not sure if it's going to be a one and done or if they're going to turn it into a seasonal thing. So let's look at the article details here. Overnight, Dan Trachtenberg became the Predator Whisperer. His Comanche action horror prequel Prey breathed life into the uneven franchise, and its success opened the door to pitch future entries. That's pretty much what we just talked about as well. Prey, I felt started really brought back the franchise, brought back the character to, I think, the success of the studio, as far as the studio seeing that it can be successful depending upon your approach to it. So it obviously opened up the doors for it to get greenlit other projects. So one idea became Predator Badlands, which is slotted for a November 7th, 2025 release date, with new details coming out of CinemaCon this past weekend. But what if I told you that Trachtenberg complete another Predator film in secret that will be available before we enter the Badlands? Because that's the truth, and Bloody Disgusting has exclusive first details. So let's go down a little further here. Predator Killer of Killers is a 3-part animated anthology that showcases Utaje warriors hunting human prey across the global history. It'll premiere as a Hulu exclusive on June 6, 2025. We have the voice actors here, and then we have the official synopsis. All right, so Predator Killer of Killers, an original animated action adventure film set in the Predator universe, will premiere on June 6, 2025, exclusively on Hulu. The anthology story follows 3 of the fiercest warriors in human history: a Viking raider guiding her young son on a bloody quest for revenge, a ninja in feudal Japan who turns against his samurai brother in a brutal battle for succession, and a World War II pilot who takes to the sky to investigate, and otherworldly threat to the Allied cause, but while all these warriors are killers in their own right, they are merely prey for their new opponent, the ultimate killer of killers. So, okay, this is, let's see, do we have any more? Okay, so that's the end of the synopsis here. Then we just kind of get into the concept of it. So it's a brilliant concept that passionate fans have long pondered since Predators came into any era. Maybe King Arthur's Camelot Guard versus Predators, or Blackbeard's crew firing cannonballs at Predators. Wherever worthy adversaries exist, a Predator might challenge for dominance. Trachtenberg was so in love with the project that he co-directed alongside Josh Wasung from animated company The Third Floor while on location for Predator Badlands. We were writing the script for Killer of Killers while we were prefacing stuff on Badlands, and then once on location in New Zealand, on the way to shoot Badlands, we would remote with everyone back here and watch footage that's thanks to Starlink. So, I mean, yeah, it sounds like they've been putting a lot of work in for this anthology. I do feel, based on what we just read on that summary, that synopsis for this being an anthology, I'd imagine this was probably going to then just be, I mean, if it's 3 different points in history, we're following 3 different core individuals. This might just be 3 long episodes, so to speak, maybe like an hour, 15 hour, 25 minutes each, right? I can't imagine it going any further than that. I mean, kind of almost like a mini series, but it is an anthology. And I also see this being a one and done, as far as for these particular stories, for these particular 3 that have been outlined in the synopsis. Now, whether or not they decide to do like a season 2 and give us, 3 different points of time where Predators show up, as they just mentioned there, could be King Arthur's Camelot, or it could be Blackbeard's, crew, or where they're fighting pirates, right? If done correctly, I think it'd be successful. But I think it's going to boil down to for me, it's going to boil down to animation style. While I am going to be interested in the story, the look and feel of it is going to have to be, something I'm interested in personally. Otherwise, I'm just not going to gravitate towards it. So let's see if there's any more to this article before we jump into the trailer. So we do have a little bit more here. I should probably tell you that I was lucky enough to watch the first 20-ish minutes of Predator Killer of Killers with Trachtenberg in attendance. That spanned the Icy Viking Revenge arc in its entirety. So that's interesting. If that's only the first 20 minutes and it's already covered that much ground, that's not only concerning, but it's just interesting that they're making that statement. Which, let me confirm, doesn't lose a lick of Predator signatures through illustration versus a gore-forward practical effects showcase. The spectacle of action sequences and brutal kill shots reminds me of Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge, Warner Bros. Animation, hyper-violent and bone-shattering animated franchise starter. Another journalist quickly pointed out how the visual design resembles Netflix Arcane, which Trachtenberg cited as an artistic inspiration. All right, so I'm already getting a little hesitant if I'm gonna like this from an animation perspective. So this article goes on a bit more, gets into more of the details behind each one of these. We're not going to I mean, you can see this is a pretty lengthy article. I'm not going to get into all these details, but I will put the link for this article in the description of this video. So if you want to come back in and read all these details on the story for each one of these like 3 stories, you can do so. But we do have some images here we'll take a quick look at before the trailer. So this must be obviously the Viking arc that they were just talking about. More of what appears to be the Viking story as well. Not sure if this is still that same. The notes under the picture don't state. Okay, now we get into the samurai story. Okay, I like that. That looks pretty cool. That animation for that looks pretty good. And then this is the World War II. So it looks like we have the World War II fighter planes here. And then this looks like in the background a Predator warship coming in from behind. So it looks like they're not just going to introduce Predators that are just fighting on the ground. They're going to be, for the World War II one, taking to the air as well. More of the samurai one. I'm not okay, what's this? Okay, so I'm not too keen. I'm not sure which one this is coming from, but yeah, I'm not too keen on this animation style so far, just in the images. Now, I do like this poster. This poster looks pretty good. I like how they incorporated the Viking shield, the dog tags, and then the samurai sword with the alien blood on it, along with what appears to be human blood. And then we have some bullet casings here at the bottom as well, probably for the World War II aspect. All right, so like I said, I'll put the link for this article in the description of the video if you want to check out all these additional details. We're not going to read through it line by line for this video. All right, so let's get back to the top. All right, so let's pull up the trailer and see what it is about.
Old enough now. It's time I tell you about the monster. We must kill it, or it will kill us all.
So I'm going to say right off the bat, and I'm probably going to get shouted down by many of you who watch this and are really looking forward to this series. I'm going to say I'm not overly excited about this. The animation style just isn't doing it for me. It feels very much more like it has that feel of a video game that they've now just are making into a television anthology series. And again, it could just be my preference of style when it comes to animation, what I like and don't like. But I'm not liking the look of this. I also noticed some of the kills were spot on. Like for example, the one that when we got into the samurai story, when he threw like this spear at one of the warriors and it stuck him to the wall, and these blades came out of both either side of the spear and cut him in half. Also, the World War II scene where the Predator ship shoots out this catapult and it goes all the way through the plane and then gets to the front and then rips the pilot completely out of it. I think those two scenes, done correctly, could look absolutely amazing in a live action. I think this would look amazing as live action. I understand why they're going this route, probably because of cost, probably because they want to get the project out there, and they know that through animation they can probably do a lot of things that would cost a lot more money if they try to do it live action, just with like CGI and stuff. We obviously, if you notice, we have three different almost styles of Predators. They all were different, different sizes, different looks. The one that's in we have the Viking Age one. The Viking Age one looks to be just absolutely towering compared to the other two, which were, at least to the Samurai one, which was much smaller, much slimmer. And then the one in the pilot, we obviously don't get to see his stature, but we do get to see what his face looks like a little bit, which is drastically different. And all three of them have a different face as to what we're used to seeing from the live action Predator movies, from like the original Predator movies. They all, even though they looked somewhat different, they still had a very commonality as far as how they did look, whether it was their body structure, their face, the dreads that they have. But these three all look vastly different. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not excited for this. I'm not disappointed for this. I'm still very I was mid, but I'm leaning more towards yeah, I'm not gonna rush to watch it. Will I watch it? Absolutely. I'll probably end up watching it at release to do a review on it. See if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, if it's a great show, then I'll call it out. Hey, it's a great show. I can look past the animation. The story was on point and everything else. But thus far, just based on this trailer, for me, I'm not rushing to see it, and it's just strictly around the animation. I might have a hard time looking past that, but again, if the story is on point, then yeah, maybe I can be able to look past that. So anyways, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the first trailer for Predator Killer of Killers, coming to Hulu as an exclusive on June 6th. And then hopefully here in the coming weeks, we will hopefully get a trailer for Predator Badlands, which is supposed to be the live action. Now that I am looking forward to, just to see how we're going to progress this franchise, this Predator, this character, from a live action look. Now again, I would have loved to have seen what we just saw in live action. I think it would have been absolutely great to see a Predator warship in a World War II time period attacking other World War II planes, and that scene that we saw with that catapult going through, I think that would have looked absolutely epic in a live action scene. But again, I can understand why they're not doing that, probably because of cost and everything that will come with that. And with animation, they could probably get it cheaper and done quicker. So again, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Also, if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.